Going for a little drive here. Now we're on Old Mill Road, coming into Crestline from the high desert in the San Bernardino Mountains in the old power wagon. These people on the very west end, boy, they got hammered in the storms. Well, the county's actually widened this to 2 lanes. Not at all what I expected. I thought I was really going to regret coming down this way. I apologize for the fog. I swear I didn't order that up. Well, other clouds. We're at the intersection of Old Mill 138 and Lake Drive. The San Bernardino Mountains on the east-west end is still restricted to residents only. Last night, the community of Big Bear via 18 through Lucerne and 38 through Mentone opened back up to the public. But Running Springs, Green Valley Lake, Lake Arrowhead, Twin Peaks, Rim Forest, Crestline, Valley of Enchantment, Blue Jay, all restricted to residents only. And it's kind of a good thing because there's just no parking. And what value is it going to bring letting the public back up here? You know what I mean? But yeah, this storm was kind of weird because, you know, obviously we're a lower elevation here than Arrowhead. Looks, that was a structure fire. That's too bad. Lower elevation, and it gets higher as you go, obviously, towards Big Bear. But the snow got less as it got higher. Now, the other day when I was here, the hardware store was red tagged by the county. Oh, darn it. Oh, they still are. That sucks. How Ace Hardware's running is you go into the garden center and you tell them what you want and somebody goes over. The restaurant right here, Crestline Cafe, they're red tagged, broken gas line. The bowling alley's got their... So there's 3 grocery stores on the west end. Stater Brothers in Lake Arrowhead, Jensens and Blue Jay, and Goodwins and Crestline here. Another roof collapse next to McDonald's. Goodwins right here. Their roof collapsed pretty darn quick. I'm sorry, I'm driving and I cannot look at the phone and be safe. Yeah, so their roof collapsed, and this is these people's grocery store. You can see through there. From the, other than being boarded up, from the exterior, it doesn't look like anything. Jensens, on the other hand, their roof didn't collapse, but it's been compromised, and so it's closed. I do not know what the Arrowhead people are doing without Starbucks. That's probably why they're so freaking whacked out on social media right now. I mean, there's just the craziest posts from the victimhood generation, the pajama generation. This is Lake Gregory Drive. In the last couple days, this has been improved because it was a lane and a half wide. So even coming down here in my Tacoma, myself and everybody else were having to stop and let people pass, and that was just kind of a mess. But yeah, this is, the county's obviously been working on this. Well, except for right there. The Lake Arrowhead Narrows, let me take that back. The Arrowhead Narrows, Highway 18 from Lake District. Well, here's the narrow piece, a little narrow section. From the Crestline Bridge to Lake Gregory Drive, they had a landslide. And so this is kind of part of the detour, or Crest Forest Drive, which I drove this morning, which if you're impaired whatsoever, which a lot of our elders are, or have anxiety, that street is a two-way street that's like a lane and a quarter wide in many places with down trees. And that's the detour that they're recommending. Kind of interesting. But yeah, these people on the West End, boy, they got hammered bad. As a result of the storms, there were several people unprepared in terms of having adequate food and firewood and all that, because on this West End there was a lot of power outages. That didn't happen at all where I lived. And so people were either cold in their house, running out of food and firewood, medications, what have you. On this end, tons and tons of downed trees. The winds really, when you combine uh, 40, 50, 60 mile an hour gusts with heavy snow, even the stoutest of trees will give way. It's just nature. Now we're coming up to Highway 18. Which way should I go? I think I'll go this way. Now you can see a ton of down trees right here by the Church of Scientology. Look at all that vegetation on both sides. Yeah, I wonder how the Scientology people were dealing with this when their little roads were blocked and their little armed militia. Yeah, Scientology is right there and right there. Now, the significance of that location is that's where the L. Ron Hubbard, the founder, his books and all his important papers are in an underground vault there. Why the heck they did it there, I don't know. Now, what in the world happened here? it's 42 degrees. It has not. We had like 5 days, 6 days of sunshine until yesterday when this little rainstorm came through. At my house, only 0.3 of an inch, just enough to clear my roofs off. Significant snow melt over the past week. I was trying to gauge it this morning of how much snow's melted at my place. Probably, you're gonna not believe me, but probably about 2 feet is gone. So I probably got 2 feet on the ground, generally with higher spots depending on shade. And because these storms were wind driven, and any part of the terrain that has eddies, that's where the majority of the snow collected. So you might, where I had 4 feet in one spot, I might add 6 feet in another, if that makes any sense. People think, oh my God, Southern California, it's making the national news. Well, a little back channel on that. There's 212 media markets in the United States. New York's number 1. LA is number 2. So why is there so much media coverage here versus other parts of California that even worse stuff is happening? It's because the media's here. Yeah. And now we're into Twin Peaks. This is the Strawberry Flats area. A lot of people in social media here freaked out because they can't get out. Up here, you have county maintained roads. You have a couple state highways. We're actually on a state highway right now. And then you have a lot of private roads. Privately owned, privately maintained, privately plowed. And these people on the privately owned roads are screwed. And the younger you are, the bigger noise you make that it's someone else's responsibility. Isn't that interesting? Well, because we now live in this nanny world. These people live on these little private roads. Probably never expected this to happen. What these people normally do is they'll have Cletus or Clem in their old pickup truck with a plow blade on the front of it, and the homes on the little private road get together and they pay Cletus to come plow their road when it snows. And guess what? A pickup truck with a blade on it ain't gonna do shit for that when it's coming down faster than you can shovel. Ask me how I know. So truck mounted plows, even the large ones on dump trucks, became absolutely useless. And road graders, which is normally the ultimate up here for snow removal, became useless. And you needed a loader. So, they had to mobilize loaders from wherever they could get them. And then how many people in Southern California have a large loader and don't have snow chains for it. Why in the world in Southern California would a loader operator own $3,000, $5,000 set of snow chains? You wouldn't. And so they had to get snow chains for all these different operators to come up and help. And of course, the snowflakes and the pajama generation didn't understand that one. Fortunately, on my street, I was unable to leave my parking deck for 13 days. Did I run out of food? No. Did my power go out? No. Did my house get cold? No. Did I run out of water? No. Did I have internet? Yes. And, so fortunately, when help showed up, it was a private construction company up here, Trinity, which is they're not too far from my house. And they had these two loaders, and of course, since they're locals, they have chains. And it was interesting to watch them. They were operating back to back, and they made short order. I gave the guy a tip, and with a couple extra scoops with the loader, I had no berm. And over the 13 days, once it stopped snowing, I didn't sit on social media and cry and whine. All I did was shovel. So, believe it or not, when the loaders cleared the street, my snow removal was 100% done. Front, back, decks, everything. And I was able to tootle on over to the grocery store and get some fresh items without being stressed out or freaked out. Since the pandemic, a lot of weekend cabins sold. What in the world is that? Oh, it's one of those urban assault vehicles. I wonder if he was camping in that tent during the disaster. He was all prepared. A lot of weekend cabins sold, and during the pandemic, a lot of people moved up to the mountains. And last year's winter wasn't much, which would have been their first winter. And so the pajama generation, they aren't used to roads being closed. And that's probably why they're all over social media and going to their safe places and their crying rooms and threatening class action lawsuits and a whole litany of other things. It's because they're not used to this. We had a ton of conversions from either weekend homes to full-time residents, the work at home types, or unfortunately to weekend rentals or Airbnbs, VRBOs. And of course, those people, the ones that did not leave, they got screwed because suddenly they're trapped. And there's these stories of, you read on social media where these Airbnb people, the homeowner continued to charge them the nightly rate even though they were trapped in the house, and they only came up for the weekend or for a few days. So that's how much food they have, but you see that crap all the time. The weather's gonna turn to crap, and you get these, especially in Southern California, you get these dipple pickles, the various fruit bats from the basin, that they're going to come up and want to be in the cabin when it snows, and then suddenly they can't get out, or their car, which is perfectly suitable for driving around Los Angeles, is not suitable for winter conditions, and then they're screwed. And it's somebody else's fault. Now, here's the other market, Jensens. They had probably like 20 people up there clearing the snow, so they got it down a bit. But the county has red tagged them. So we have one grocery store, Stater Brothers, that way. And their parking lot is full of snow. So what's this say? Food, 11 to 5. For those people who can't afford it or can't, I don't, if you can make it there, unless you're below the poverty line, or you're working construction or something and you can't work, why would you go get free food ethically when you can just drive from that spot a mile down the road to the full-size grocery store? I don't know. Stater Brothers is a grocery chain in Southern California. They have over 200 stores, and their distribution center is at the bottom of the hill. So it is 28 miles from here because the roads are curved. Don't ask me how I know that, other than the fact that my office used to be across the street. This is North Bay Road. As you can see, getting a lot of snow melt. These berms are half the size they were. The big atmospheric river is coming this week. Hopefully there's not too much residential flooding or structure and deck fires, but already it's starting to happen. I saw that there was some residential flooding going on in Big Bear today. Because when you shovel snow, a lot of times you're going to change the natural course of the drainage on your property. So, when you shovel, once the snow stops and, you got your shoveling done, you really have to take a second look at your property and go, all right, if it suddenly rained, where is the water going to go? Ah, crap. That means I got to get out and do some adjusting to my shoveling. So be it. Yesterday, I saw some pictures on social media not too far from my house where some full-time residents, the pajama generation, their decks collapsed. Oh, look at that one. That one's got a sag in it. You're not invalid in your 90s. Why they didn't get out and shovel those decks, I don't know. But now they have none. To me, snow's coming down, I'm shoveling. I don't wait till the snow stops and then get out and go, oh my God, there's too much. It's like, I just stay on it. And yes, it's very disheartening to get up in the morning and there's 2 feet where there was nothing when you quit shoveling at 10 o'clock at night. But 2 feet instead of 4 or 6 or 8. So I just kept at it, and of course, you know, I got it clear. I also went and been keeping an eye on my next door neighbor. He's a weekender who rarely comes up, and I dug his gas meter out. Up until a couple days ago, we were averaging 2 structure fires a day, and of course they were complete losses, and you know, firefighters were having to operate in a defensive mode to essentially just keep the structure fire from spreading into the adjacent homes. Yeah, lots of water. We're going on 26 minutes. I wonder if YouTube's gonna let this happen or not. But getting a little tour. Yeah, see, they between improvements and melting, this has gone down considerably, and plus they've widened this to 2 lanes. Now, if you noticed when I started this video, here we're on a county road that doesn't get that much travel. Back when we were on State Highway 138 and Lake Gregory Drive and State 189, that's right now where they need to focus their efforts on widening the right-of-way, not here. Fortunately, that Airbnb is snowed in. Right before this snowstorm, I gotta say this. Oh, that's looking towards Green Valley. Those people up there got hit hard, really hard, and that's where they've been flying the food and stuff in by helicopter. Is at the top of the snow up there. There's a community up there. Much higher elevation. Green Valley Lake, like the hollers of West Virginia. Yeah, unfortunately for those people, some of them are still in dire straits. Not over here. The Lake Arrowhead people, they like to cry and all the time, but they didn't get. They're not in half as bad a shape as Green Valley Lake, or let's say Cedar Pines Park, Valley of Enchantment. Here we are. The National Forest is closed still to all use for the next couple days, because the last thing we need, well, somebody, they want to get working on those homes again. Yeah, here on the north side, which has a desert influence, these berms are a third of where they were, because you could not look, you couldn't see that home or any of these homes. Forgive me for the gray and black houses, but for some reason, that's the latest fad, is to paint your house in a color that's going to absorb summer heat. There's that 70 pickup. At least you can see more of it. Well, I think I'm gonna end the old video here. Of snow in Southern California. You know, when this is all said and done, when you take out the human cost and the cost of the rescue and recovery, the Santa Ana watershed, which runs from Mount San Antonio all the way around towards San Jacinto, is going to benefit considerably towards California's drought, because outside of the State Water Project and the Colorado River, the Santa Ana watershed is the other primary source of water for San Bernardino, Riverside, and Orange County. So, it's one of those things. There is sort of a silver lining to this, but and that silver lining is not for us that live up here. Oh, hoodlums. It's for the people who live down the hill. All right. Enough rambling. See you guys later.